Matthew Lapp, host of Matthew Lapp Train Guy segment show. Also today in this segment, I'm at the Durham Museum in Omaha, Nebraska. The Durham Museum is Omaha's historic Union Station. Also, the Durham Museum was formerly called by the name of the place, the Durham Western Heritage Museum, until April 2008. Also, the Durham Museum is a former operating train station where passengers would arrive in Omaha going on a train or going on a train to going somewhere. Nowadays, there aren't many of those left today. Also, on March 31st, 1929, there were plans announced by both Union Pacific and Burlington officials detailing the construction of the new Union Station, the remodeling of the Burlington Depot, which is right across the rail yard from the museum, and on the other side of the bridge. Began on Union Station in May 1929, designed by Gilbert Stanley Underwood Company in the Art Deco style of architecture, by every detail of this train station and all the lights, windows, on the floorboard, and everything. The new Union Station was 124,000 square feet of interior space, was constructed on the same site as the first Union Station, taking 20 months to complete. It costed $3.5 million and was the 1/10 of what it was required to construct. The station was originally boasted 13 sets of tracks supporting the trains that carried passengers to and from Omaha. This plan, the increased trackage, would allow Union Station to support Union Pacific, Rock Island, Missouri Pacific, Milwaukee, Wabash, Great Western, Illinois Central, and Northwestern Railroad. Also, most of the platforms and tracks were taken out. Also, in 1991, Union Pacific Big Boy 4023 and DDA 40X Centennial 6900 was at Kennebec Park, which was the original, was just among the Missouri River. It was stored in a fence in the middle of the rail yard out there. 2005. Also, they are currently on the hill across the parking lot from Lurton Gardens Visitor Center, and that's where the new Kennebec Park. 1931, Union Station was completed and opened as a passenger train station. The dedication ceremony was held on January 15 that time. In 1971, Union Station closed after Congress was established the National Railroad Passenger Corporation, and Amtrak now handles the railroad passenger travel. In 1973, the station was given to the city of Omaha, and in 1975, the station was opened as the Western Heritage Museum till 1997, and displaying small regional history exhibits and private collections. Then in 1995, restoration of the Union Station began and required the museum to be closed for 6 months. And the restoration was a $22 million renovation project. Included a new parking deck, a new roof, new mechanical and electrical systems, new offices, spaces, classrooms, gift shop, and new permanent exhibits. Then in 1996, the renovation project was complete, and then the museum reopened to the public. Then in 1997, the museum was renamed the Durham Western Heritage Museum till 2008, and it was in honor of Charles and Marge Durham. The driving forces behind its restoration. The train cars are located in the Trish and Dick Davidson gallery with 3 passenger coaches and 1 caboose, 1 steam locomotive, and 1 trolley. And the trains are here as artifacts to make history real by telling stories and reflecting changes. The train locomotive you see behind me is Union Pacific 1243. 1243 was built in Patterson, New Jersey by Cook Locomotive and Machine Works in 1890, and it's the 2054th steam locomotive built in that order, and it's a D57 class steam locomotive, and it's a 460 10-wheeler type steam locomotive. Also, 1243 is a 460 10-wheeler type steam locomotive, and I can explain to you how is it a 460. You can tell by its wheel arrangement. So let me show you down there. I'll move this down. You can see that by the trailing trucks there's 2, 4. So that's 4 wheels up front, and by the drive wheels there's 2, 4, 6 drivers, and no wheels, no lead trucks. So it is a 460. And that's how you can identify it by its wheel arrangement. One of 2 T57s remains. One of 2 T57s remains today, and I'll explain that when I conclude what I'm discussing. So, also 1243 operated on branch lines on Union Pacific in Nebraska, then from 1930 till 1956, 1243 operated on the railroad in Campman Branch, Wyoming. In 1956, 1243 was retired from active service, and the locomotive hauled freight on the branch line. Also, 1243 has a tender that's a Vanderbilt. So this tender is known as a Vanderbilt tender. The reason it's a Vanderbilt tender is you can tell that this part of the tender is behind the locomotive. It's a diagonal box, diagonal rivet, and the back end is round shaped, because it is, and the Vanderbilt tenders were built this way, and it would carry oil or it could carry coal whenever it be out. Some steam engines were built originally with Vanderbilt tenders. Some were not originally built with Vanderbilt tenders, but some were converted to be used with Vanderbilt tenders. Like this one was not originally, the 1243 was not originally used with a Vanderbilt tender. It was a different shape, and this engine also burnt coal. 1243 resided in Rawlins, Wyoming before going to Cheyenne, Wyoming. Then in 1990, 1243 was cosmetically restored and loaded onto a flat car, and in 1991, 1243 went to Sacramento, California for the rail fair at the California State Railroad Museum. Then in 1996, the locomotive came to Omaha, Nebraska on a flat car and was put on static display in the Durham Museum. Also, 1243 is one of the 2 surviving UP 460s. The other one is up in Cheyenne, Wyoming, in Lions Park. Behind me is Union Pacific 250. 255,059 is a caboose built in 1962 and is an M930 class caboose and is a cupola caboose. The reason this is a cupola caboose is because you can see this tower up there, and these sides are even used for the workmen to be, and they see the front of the train, and the caboose was like the railroad worker's office, and there aren't many cabooses around anymore, but on the back of the train there's a blinking light at the back of each car. And also, this is the stove where you would stay warm, and the gear is attached to one of the roller bearings, and as the train rolled, the gear would go round and around, so it would generate the stove, so it would keep you warm, and it would run the generator, and the desk is where they would do the paperwork and everything. And there are well 10 cabooses like this at Two Rivers State Park in Waterloo, Nebraska. And they are for camping in, or probably viewing while not even camping, just fishing, or just having a picnic there. I camped there back when I was in 2nd grade, and hope to do it again sometime in the future. Sorry to go off topic about that, the Durham Museum, but this caboose was used on the back of freight trains, and then retired and was put on static display at the Durham Museum. Also, you can go inside the caboose and check out the interior. This handbrake on the caboose is where they would just apply. To the left, you would turn the brake off. But when the train would just, whenever the caboose would be decoupled, and this full release lets the chain drop. And also, even when there's no locomotive at the back of the train or hooked up to the train, then this would have to be coupled. But although this caboose isn't going anywhere, it's just stationary.
What you see right behind me is Union Pacific sleeper car number 1202, built in 1956 by the Pullman Car Company and used as a Pullman National Command sleeper car, which says the name on the side of the car. The car is a streamlined passenger car and was used for the National Command and retired in September of 1970 and was sold to J.C. Johnson in January 1972. Then 1991 was sold back to Union Pacific, then loaned to the museum in 1996. And you can walk through the coach and look around.
So this is the National Command sleeper coach, and also this is the interior side, and there are even rooms way back there. Also, this is something. And also, up here, this is where the bed is. Just pull it down, but we're not going to pull these beds down, but
This bed is currently down, even though it's pulled down and the bed's open. And these are seats right here where you just sit down, maybe play checkers or play cards while riding the train. And also, this is like when I went to Granby, Colorado back in 2007 on Amtrak. And I might ride Amtrak again in the future. And also, the floor looks nice. It's almost like summer camp, even when you're on this car. And this here's the bathroom, like you'd expect to see somewhere. The sink, but the toilet's not even here, although it was taken out. This button, this switch and button you see right here, this button says porter. It means you'd call the porter. And the mirror light, so if you watch on and off. What you see right behind me is Southern Pacific Lounge Car number 2986, built in 1949 by Pullman Standard Car Company, and it's currently a Union Pacific scheme. And if you're thinking it's a Union Pacific coach, it isn't. It's a Southern Pacific coach in a Union Pacific scheme, and was painted not this color when it rolled out of the factory. It was originally named Goldview, and it was built for Chicago, Los Angeles, Golden State train. And this car was named City of Angels and had the road name Union Pacific, and during that time it contained a 40-seat lounge with a quarter circle bar, barbershop, shower, steward's room. Then in 1971 it was retired from regular service and then put on static display at the museum in 1999. You can view the interior of the lounge car and take a look inside. This coach is the lounge car, and is the lounge car at the Durham Museum. And this is where you would play cards, smoke a cigarette, back when this car was in use, but that doesn't happen much anymore. Also, there are two seats where there used to be a couch, and also, there was a table, but the table got removed. And there's also a round bar. So when I came here on a field trip, we would see the trains, and it was back when I was in 3rd grade.
So back in 2004, spring of 2004, we got to come to the Durham Museum, which was fantastic. And my third grade class would be all seen together in this coach. That was fun for me. And also you would read magazines like National Geographic. Just one sec. Like you could see, here's one right here. And also, but when I rode on Amtrak to Granby, Colorado from Omaha, Nebraska, and to Omaha, Nebraska from Granby, Colorado, there was a time I went into the lounge car and I got to see the Amtrak lounge car. It's more modern than this, but this furniture and everything looks as good as if it was back in its heyday. Right behind me is the Cornhusker Club Car, and it was built by Cornhusker Car Company in 1924 on June 6, 1946. The Cornhusker Club Car was attached by Union Pacific Railroad to President Harry Truman's train. President Truman was traveling west from Washington, D.C. to Los Angeles, California, from Nebraska and Idaho, press-filled the Cornhusker Club Car, and as it rolled down the rail, the club car was reported on what later became an important and famous trip. Also, the car was retired and also put on static display at the museum. Also, you can check out the interior of this side of the car as well. Except one room. The car is only view from the outside. It is locked. So this car was built by the Pullman Car Company, and also, so this car was built for Harry Truman's train, and also there were caterings. And these cars you see, these seats you see are where Harry Truman was, and also the room in the back is the dining room where the observation deck is. And also, back in when I was in first grade, this car was new to the museum, and also it was, instead of hooked up to the yellow coaches, it was far apart. And also, and I think the first time I saw this car was the yellow coaches hooked up to the caboose, and then the yellow coaches moved back towards this coach. And also, there were some carpentry going on in here when I saw this car for the first time. They were sawing, it was a lot of noise, and I would only view it from, but not get too close to it yet while it was going under some construction, as if it was new to the museum. And I think they were redoing the seats and the hardware and the carpentry and also everything, because this car may have been rescued from scrap, or maybe it was abandoned, or maybe it was somewhere. I don't know. Who knows? But this looks as good as if it was but it looks good as new. Behind me is the streetcar in the museum, number 1014. This trolley was on streets and neighborhoods in Omaha in the 1940s. And the wheels on the underside are gone, and you can also walk inside and check out the interior. But even though these wheels you'll see underneath are not real wheels, but they're only custom.
Was founded in 1876, 67. The Omaha Horse Railway Company, and it was also used for the cable tramway in Omaha. And Council Bluffs Railway and Bridge Company, known as Omaha and Council Bluffs Tramway, and connected Council Bluffs. And the last streetcar ran in 1955, and this was the last one, and this was retired and put in here. We're in the streetcar, and also, as you could see, this streetcar was used to carry people down neighborhood streets of Omaha, like I mentioned. And now, I just wanted to show you, these are cutouts of people and cutouts of buildings, like, looks like they're watching the trolley go by, passing the downtown villages. Pizza, fruit, grapes, I think those are maybe oranges, bananas, everything. There's a marching band. And here's where the motormen sit. And this looks brand new, this stool. Like, this is known as the throttle. And even though, if you've been wondering, these doors are gone and they're not there. And this is also the reverser lever. So when you have the throttle set to off, you're good to move the reverser lever. So this, if I said it right here, mean reverse to here, neutral, and forward. And set it. And then it would let the trolley go.
Railroad at the Durham Museum. This project was being worked on my first 2 visits before the turf was up. And these suitcases weren't here when it was complete. These are just sets here for decoration. The model railroad was complete like sometime in 2000. Also, this shows the scale model railroad representing Union Pacific's double-track main, running from Omaha, Nebraska to Ogden, Utah during the 1950s.
That there is the turntable and the roundhouse. It's where it would store the steam locomotives, and that over there is a gas turbine diesel. And that's the only one of its type that survived. There are only 2 of those. One's in Ogden, one in Utah, one's in Union, Illinois. Now, if you push of the button, the turntable will go to work. You can see there's a steam engine on there. And also, this turntable did not work till 2011, I don't think, but I'm glad they got the push of the buttons to work. And it's just looking nice. All detailed, everything. I thought this be looking like the Cheyenne Roundhouse, but it looks a little different, I think. So let's show you around. That's a big boy locomotive you see right there. That's the 9000 class. There's a Union Pacific 060. There's a Union Pacific FEF locomotive. Let those crossings go to work, so watch. Pushes the button, they're going down, lights are flashing, and that's how it works. This button right here allows the electricity to go on, the street lamp post, so watch. Push of the button, and also those buildings as well go on, and they go to work. No need to hold them down. They go off any second, so maybe let's watch. Maybe they will go off. The movie theater wasn't here when the model railroad was being constructed, but it was put on here a long time ago. Like, I think it was added 2011. And this lets the trains run, this button right here, so let's see it go to work.
The greatest protection for the future of this, the greatest of all countries, our country, the United States.
So just hold it down, and there it goes, on the mountain track. And there's another train over there. I know you can hardly see it. So let's walk around. Oh, and there's an Alco diesel going to work. That looks like a hobo in the boxcar to me. Here's the tunnel. Let's watch it go through. Here comes another Alco diesel. This one here is the one known as the M1003. Here's a Union Pacific downside, W10. Here's a baggage coach, and a Union Pacific dining car number 3669. An observation coach number 1565. A Union Pacific 10,000. 9,000 class, 9,000, that's it. Which is the reference of the one, the original 9,000. It still is, and it's down in Omaha, California, at the Rail Giants Museum. And also, this is a refrigerator car, Pacific Fruit Growers Express, number 50,000. This here is Pacific Fruit Express. This bell here is from a Los Angeles and Salt Lake steam engine, number 3177, which is a 462 Pacific type steam locomotive that was built in 1912 by Alco in Schenectady, New York, and was scrapped 36 years of service after 36 years of service. And also it's here for display the Durham. You can also ring it. So here we go. That's how it's done. I hope you enjoyed this segment of Matthew Lapp Train Guide. Hope you enjoyed learning about trains with me in this segment. And I hope to see you in the next segment. So this is Matthew Lapp, host of Matthew Lapp Train Guide, signing out. Till next time, all aboard!